Hello, everyone, and welcome to Smileys in the Air, our oral health and prevention podcast. I'm Celso da Costa, and today with us we have a very special guest, Anna Middleton. Anna is a dedicated and passionate multi-award winning dental hygienist and therapist. She started the London Hygienist with the mission to change the way of oral health care is delivered to patients and improve access to dental service. Anna first studied at Eastman Dental Hospital after working as a dental nurse and graduated as a dental hygienist in 2015. She returned then to the university to extend her scope of practice by completing her dental therapist training. Since qualifying, Anna has attracted an ever-growing and loyal customer base from the public, press, and celebrities alike. This means that she is regarded as one of the most popular dental hygienists in London and a rising star within the industry. Also a key opinion leader and ambassador for several large dental brands and organizations, and most notable, Anna is an official provider of the Swiss Dental Academy training of EMS guided biofilm therapy. So Anna, welcome.
Thank you for that lovely introduction.
Well, it's not lovely when it's true. It's like I wrote like facts. It's not nothing fancy. So, but tell us a little bit about you, because I heard a story last month, and this story really hit me. When you were doing your diploma as a dental hygienist, you were already looking what's happening in London, and you registered the name London Hygienist. Is this true?
This is true. So for those who don't know, in the UK, obviously direct access was something that was already underway. But in 2013, which is the year that I went to university, it was the year that a lot of the sort of barriers were lifted. So that obviously got me thinking. I was like, well, this is obviously going to be something one day. So I did my market research. I Googled London hygienist and nothing came up. So obviously I bought the .com, .co.uk, and at that time swiped up all the social media handles.
Well, but when I heard this, I said, "Wow, she is the real girl boss," because she's a visionary. She was already thinking about finishing the course and mount their own brand, and it worked. Like London Hygienist is a brand now. It's something really that everyone knows. Everyone knows you.
I mean, but those who don't, what it's really allowed is, I think the other visionary aspect of it was a lot of people trade under their name or their dental practice name. Okay. So actually all I did was market it in, I do what it says on the tin. So now obviously if you Google London hygienist in London, if you're obviously in London and put hygienist near me, then I'm going to rank on Google or on social media. But the whole point was I do what it says on the tin. And I just wanted to be visible. People aren't going to find me just by looking for Anna Middleton and know what I do sort of straight away. So it was a kind of way of rebranding how we offer dental care out to the public. It's like Chicago pizza, LA gym. It does what it says on the tin. I'm London hygienist.
It's perfect. Like not only you are a great clinician, you are a great marketeer. Because this was a move as a marketeer. How you then talk or express your brand towards the patients? How you got the patients come to you?
So I think anyone who hasn't watched the TED Talk by Simon Sinek of the Golden Circle needs to go and do that for their homework. Because for a long time, I think as a young, maturing woman, I was a new professional. I found it very difficult to articulate who I was and what I was doing. And actually, once I watched that TED Talk, it really helped me condense my message. And it all starts with I want everyone to be in love with their smile. I understand the reality that the fear of pain and lack of control are huge barriers in dentistry. And then that's how obviously I've included minimally invasive treatment methods with GBT to make sure that patients receive pain-free, minimally invasive treatment that then ensures that they continue to come back long after that appointment. So I obviously sold my why before my how and my what. And I think that's sort of how it's grown from there, really.
I'm a huge fan of Simon Sinek. Like I have all the books. I listen to all the podcasts. He's a great influence, a really big influence in my life. So I've now I'm curious. So I didn't knew that. See, I'm learning how I'm speaking with you. So I'm learning. But you have so much going on in your life. You have your London agendas, you have your social media, because I see that you are quite active. You have all these events, lectures to do. You are a businesswoman too. Do you ever sit down and plan your career? You never stop. Do you plan the next move?
I probably not. No. If you asked me, sort of 5-6 years ago, if I would be doing all those things that you just said now, I would not believe it. There's always a sort of a plan. My problem is I often achieve my goals quite quickly, which therefore means I need to go back to the drawing board quite quickly as well. I pretty much make all my life decisions on being passionate. I only want to do what makes me happy. I like the variety that I have. I like the flexibility that I have to have a healthy work-life balance. I've had a job, at least anywhere between 1 and 3 jobs at a time from the age of 13, and I'm now 35. I put myself through education time and time again. Even before becoming a dental nurse, hygienist, therapist, I studied sound engineering and music. So I feel as if I've already had a sort of 20-year professional career because I started it, from a teenage sort of years. However, that said, life is there to be enjoyed. And I don't want to have life pass me by because I'm consumed by work, because I'm chasing a set type of monetary figure or some kind of, successful status or title. I just get up and I go with the flow. But of course, there has to be method to the madness. And I think what the last sort of maybe 5 to 7 years has shown me is you've created something that you didn't initially think would necessarily become anything. It has become something. And now I guess I'm going to dedicate the next 5, 10, 15, 20 years to making sure that I can then scale that up in whatever way is possible and obviously leave my sort of, I guess, a legacy to go along with what I've already created, because it has changed the game for so many other people as well, and the opportunities, and not only for individuals, but the care that then we're able to provide for the public.
Well, you are every year in these 50 top names of influencers of dentistry in the UK. So I think you are influencing lives of other people for the good. For the good, you had an influence on me. The first time that we met, it was in 2019. I think during that first trip that you got to Lyon, Switzerland, and I was on the boat. I didn't knew you, so I met your work after, and it had an impact on my life, on my social media, most of it. Like she said, wow, she's not afraid to show what she's doing. Why I need to be afraid? And that's what inspired. What you have so inspiring is like you don't care. You show how good you are, and you show what you like to do. So that's you promote others to do the same thing.
Yeah. Which I appreciate the kind words. Thank you, Celso. I think fear is one of the things that will always hold us back, because we naturally think of the worst possible outcome and not the best possible outcome. And I think it can be a difficult space to navigate, because you're putting yourself on a platform or a sort of space in which you're leaving yourself open to criticism, judgment. But when you know your why and your purpose, it makes it a lot easier. So I think once I sort of honed in on what I'm going for and what I want to achieve, and some of those, big goals, I don't even share with people because I need to keep something for myself. But then I know when I have those bad days or I feel vulnerable, that I can go back to that and I can say, wait a minute, look how far you've come in a short period of time. You're doing the things you like, you're happy, you've got, the sort of balance, but you also know that you've still got more that you can work towards, regardless of whether that's in a clinical space, a personal space, professional. There's always opportunities and avenues to be able to go down.
Well, that's the thing. Like you build your brand, you build your image. You technically you are super good, um, but you face a lot of challenge, right? Can you talk about some of those challenges and how you overcome them?
I mean, the first challenge for me was even getting into university to become a hygienist because I actually didn't have the grades to, study at a university level. I was 26 at the time. So they were, asking for grades from 16, 18 years old. And I said, what's that got to do with, my sort of capabilities now? Look what I've done in the last 10 years. So that was always an obstacle. Then when I first qualified, after 6 months, I thought I've made a huge mistake. Hygiene isn't for me. I couldn't find my feet. I struggled in the professional world. It was, I didn't have a nurse. It was lonely. I was isolated. I wasn't able to do my job. There was no like sort of support or mentoring available for me at that time. And I think just sort of through a series of events, that's when I then obviously started pouring all my time and energy into London Hygienist because I knew that was something that was mine and I could nurture and I could grow. But there's nothing without challenges, even as a businesswoman now, I have no background in advertising, marketing, business. All I've done is watch YouTube videos, listen to podcasts, read books. I've invested money in the wrong areas. I did business with the wrong people. I, trust all these things that you would encounter in any other space in your life or professional life. There'll always be a challenge, but then that's how you learn, that's how you progress, that's how you grow. And there's no such thing as failure, only feedback.
Yeah, I completely agree that most of the people they judge us, but with what we achieved, but they don't see all the work, the blood, sweat, and tears that we shared before reaching a certain level.
But that's maybe a thing as well because that's not marketable when you're trying to obviously attract business and things. I'm more than happy to like openly speak about my story and my journey, but it's not what I, for example, use my social media platforms for is obviously very directed at patient education, driving, clientele business. It's not a space for me to necessarily air my grievances at a particular time. And that's why you create a version of yourself that you want the public to see. And the rest of it, you have to sort of keep behind closed doors. But those who know you well or spend time with you and get to know you, they understand and they share that same sort of experiences. Because we are human. I'm human. I still cry. I still have bad days. I get burnout. I'm tired. These things happen. No one is superhuman. But maybe what is out there and what is visible is what I need, the public to see because they have to trust in me as their clinician and the provider of their care.
And they trust you.
Yeah, and I trust me to be that, and I trust me to show up. I show up every day when I go there. It's showtime every time when you step into clinic. So, and I am happy to be able to provide that and be there for those people.
Yeah, exactly. That's the thing. Like I saw you in a lecture, and you told me before the lecture, yeah, I have a headache, and then you got on the stage, and it's like you perform, and you performed so well. People were like, "Oh, I want to be like that," and that's a good thing. Like you have an image that you are putting up front, and I think it's normal, right? It's normal, and the image is you have done a huge work, and that's what I wanted to say. It's like. Forget about everything that you went through to reach this level. The important is like you are here now, and yeah, people just need to do the effort, and then once they get in the same level, then they can talk.
You got to ask it. It's that thing as well. Like, what drives you? How bad do you want it? It's all very well. People say, for example, they look at maybe you and I and think, I want to aspire to be that level. I want to aspire to be having the opportunities that yourself and I have. But how bad do you want it? Because it's no different if you say, oh, I want to become a professional footballer. You got to train. You got to show up. You got to, do all that hard work. And a lot of the time as well, the opportunities, you can create them for yourself. No one's going to come and just knock on your door one day and put that, opportunity in your hands. You've got to demonstrate your leadership, your hard work, your drive, your vision to then obviously be sort of seen. And I think that was something I always really knew that no one else was going to do these things for me. I had to get out there.
Yeah.
And I'm not going anywhere either.
No, but I like that. I always compare ourselves with the high performance athletes because we see their training, their hard work, and then they perform well. But in every profession, it's the same thing. You need to train, you need to invest in yourself, you need to study, and then once it's time to perform, you're going to perform well. So it's the same thing. So, but people don't see that in the health world. They only see in the sport world. And in the business, the people are going to say, it was luck. They got a good investment. No, they study before. They look where to invest their money, and then they invest, and then they earn more. So everything has hard work, and I like to give this visibility. Like people are there, they are in the spotlight, but come on, they are on the spotlight. There's a reason for it. It's not because they had like a good godfather. It's because they work hard. And you said you started as dental nurse, dental hygienist, dental therapist, but in the meanwhile, you were already preparing the ground. Like I went nuts when I heard the story. Like I said at the beginning, like she registered the name London Hygienist even before graduating, and I said that was so smart. Why I didn't thought about it? Like this was super smart, and it's like having the vision. And clearly, Simon Sinek has this influence on you with the start with the why. Now I suggest you to maybe read The Infinite Game from Simon Sinek, because it's exactly what he said. Like you always reach the goal too fast, and then what like you need to prepare. And the Infinite Game is that like you never stop playing.
I think but you and I are similar in the sense like the cogs in our brain are always turning. It's always I like you say, that's the challenge for me. I like breaking the mold. I like going against the grain. I hate it when people say like, oh, but we've always done it this way. I've worked in so many industries and with various people, throughout my sort of young life and career so far. But I can see when things don't work. And I can almost foresee what needs to change or how you can change it. It's almost like a sixth sense of spotting gaps in the market. And I'm just a problem solution based kind of person, even outside of my professional life, So I think that it must just be something in the way we're wired up. But I'm not mad at it. It's attributed to my sort of success and growth. So I'm going to just keep letting my mind do what it needs to do.
And you keep doing your thing because it's working, and I like to see it. I will empower you to do even further. No, but social media has a huge role in your life. I think you use it really as a channel, like is your marketing channel, and how you share. And I enjoy to see it. I need to say also this to the listeners, that you are even nicer in person than it seems in social media. So this is true. You always have a smile, and you always start, "Hi, darling," when you see me, and I love that. It's like this British touch that changed everything. So, how you manage this channel, the social media?
I think again, it's one of those. Remember when I started social media, some of the platforms were still in their sort of infant stages. Instagram was a very visual platform. It wasn't a space that was occupied by a lot of healthcare professionals at that time. We had the sort of birth of influencers, and obviously I was influenced. It was actually Sandra's social media. She was one of the first hygienists. Yeah, she was one of the first hygienists. Yeah, that I saw on Instagram. I didn't really see anyone else at that time. She was someone I really aspired to, want to achieve the sort of things she had in terms of her own clinic. I just liked her modern edge. But again, it's a space that you can only show up and be yourself. Everyone else is taken. And at the time, remember, I didn't have patience. So everything I did was a call to action to drive my diary. So the power of the before and after, particularly with GBT, became, one of my biggest driving marketing methods to, get patients paying attention. I was setting the record straight when I was seeing nonsense facts in the press or other people, trying to promote oral health care advice that had no, sort of qualification or should be doing that. And it's one of those, but you have to manage it in the sense that I had a plan. I knew what I was doing in terms of what I was posting, where I was posting it. I was setting time aside for it because it was pivotal for my, business growth. But there comes the point where, for example, now I'm fully booked 3 months in advance. So therefore, my sort of use of social media will obviously have changed because I can't sit there and say book in today because you can't book in today. So that so the point is now, I guess, I'm using it as a way to just sort of maintain my presence within the industry and my presence as a business and a brand. And then as things grow and develop and I move into my next sort of projects, then the use of my social media will change. A lot of people, they get stressed out about it. They think it's very overwhelming. But again, it comes back to the how bad do you want it? For me, it was like, if I don't have patients, I don't have money. I can't pay my rent. I can't feed myself. It's a very simple, immediate threat to my own sort of, health, life, well-being. Yeah. So therefore, but I can now step back from it and not post for days, weeks, and I'm very happy. I think social media is changing. Obviously, we receive so much now via digital communication. Obviously, TikTok is now the sort of big one. Trend, yeah. And I think that it's great that healthcare professionals are able to navigate that space to help patients, because the amount of patients I can still help that can't physically come to me, and I help them globally with my advice and my sort of availability for them to contact. And particularly during lockdown, I had people messaging me all the time asking for advice. So even if you're not able to treat the patient physically, you are still improving access to dental care because you're kind of like a virtual clinician then for some of these people.
Well, we have the experience, so why not to share with the public? And this is going to be clinicians, but also patients. I use honestly, I use my social media as kind of a collection book. I like to post stuff like, and I said, okay, they will be here. I won't lose the picture. She can be here, but I think it's stupid from my side, but I like it. So it's part of it, and if you can influence others to follow the same path, that I think you are in the right path, why not? Why not? Anna, having said this, this was a lot of fun. I really enjoyed talking with you. I always enjoyed talking with you. And really warm thank you from my side. Keep doing what you are doing. You are really the girl boss. My eyes. and the world gonna be run by girls. I have 3 girls in my house. Well, because I'm counting my wife, of course. But they are the boss. They are the bosses. So I think you're gonna be run by girls, by women. So thank you to all the listeners. Also today we had a lesson from marketing from Anna, and also to predict, get your vision right and follow your vision. Be truthful for your vision. That's what I learned with you today. And thank you, and hope to see you again next time.
Thank you so much. Thank you.